everybody, so glad to have you here with me for this video. I just wanted to hop on and do some kind of like product updates with you. In a lot of cases, it's some things that didn't really work for me the first time around. Like when I first got these products and started using them, I may have even mentioned them in a video that I wasn't super impressed by them. Or in some cases, they've been so ho-hum, they just haven't come up at all. But as I was kind of shopping my stash lately and finding some things that I wanted to get use out of, I realized that some of these products I actually really like, and if you use maybe a little different brush, a little different method or whatever, you can really change the way they go on. So yeah, I'll just jump right in and start explaining. The first product, I mean, I wouldn't say I so much have this huge transformative method for making it 10 times better or something. I just hadn't picked this product up in a while, and I think it might be just changes in my skin that have made me appreciate it more, I guess. And it's the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. I was never really super against this foundation when I first got it, but now I think my skin is really, really even. I don't have a lot of discoloration to cover up, and I just think this looks really beautiful on, and I've been a fan of the concealer that goes in this line as well. Not so much the powder. Still can't get on board with that powder that's like the split pan and half has a little bit of shimmer and half not. I'm not really sure what's going on there. But I have this in the shade Natural Beige, and I do like putting it on with this little guy, which I have used so much. It's the Pro Mini Flawless Airbrush from Sephora, and this was like a Rouge Perk type item, but I know they sell this in a full-size brush also. And I use this all the time, and I think maybe it's the combination of this just being really good for me right now coverage-wise, and then the smaller brush like sort of enhances what coverage this product has. So just kind of a random thing there, but I picked that up again, really liked it. Also, and I've been using this primer a lot with almost anything, but this Primed and Peachy Cooling Matte Skin Perfecting Primer. I really like that alongside this product. This says matte, this says glowy, but they work really well together, and I just feel like I have good staying power. Okay, here's another thing. These Fenty sticks, which of course this was all addressed in depth in the Fenty review video, but the match sticks, which they magnetize together, that's always gonna be fun. But I mentioned that these were kind of dry and they tugged across my skin as I applied them, and I just wasn't super impressed with the finished look either, because I thought the dryness was showing. And one of these, like I got the Matchsticks Trio, one of them is like a glowy highlight. But then the two that I felt I particularly needed the help with were the shade in Linen and Amber. I had the Trio in Light. So Linen's gonna be the shade I use like as under eye concealer, brightener basically, and then Amber is what I'm using to contour with. And people had suggested in my comments section of that video to try it with a facial oil. And so I love argan oil, I've got that downstairs. But what I have handy up here is this Farsali Rose Gold Elixir, so I think any kind of facial oil. Here's the way I did it. I didn't really mix the stuff out on my hands. I just dabbed the oil over the spots where I knew I was going to apply the stick. It doesn't take a lot, by the way. Just a little additional oil will make these products slip right on. And also, when you're done and you've got them all blended in, those areas look so much more hydrated. And with the contour, it was just about kind of like ease and sweeping the product on. You know, it happens so much more easily. The blending happened faster. So again, I used that Pro Mini Flawless Airbrush for the concealer part, and then I love my Real Techniques contour brush to handle any kind of cream contour shade. That works really well. But I was glad to make these work because I love the shades. I think they're really, really good shades. Another thing, and this, you know, I wouldn't normally like demo these two side by side, but I wanted to mention them both in the same video. I got this product from Catrice, and it's called Camouflage Cream, and this is the one called Wake Up Effect. And this is, you know, one of those peachy concealers, and I remember thinking maybe this is going to be a lot like my Erase Paste from Benefit, and it's actually quite a bit lighter. I don't know, this might be comparable to their lightest shade, but it ended up being like this super light peach. I ordered this online, so I wasn't really sure what I was getting. Texture-wise, it is creamy. I wouldn't say it's maybe as creamy as Benefit Erase Paste, but it's definitely a workable texture. It doesn't go on feeling too dry. And for me, to correct dark circles, it's a little bit light. It doesn't actually camouflage them, but in terms of a brightener like further out on the cheek, it's amazing. And I know this video, because I just used the Fenty thing, it won't exhibit this as fully as I would like to, but I'm still going to show you anyway. Instead of popping this on the caverns of my eye, which, you know, Benefit Erase Paste is going to take something else to tackle that, I dab it more on the outer part, like top of my cheek area, and it's a beautiful brightener there. It's like really, really nice. So for me, I guess rather than casting this aside and being like, oh, it's it's not going to correct my under eye circles, which is what I had done for several months here, I'm realizing that it can be a great brightener elsewhere on the face. So if you haven't tried that, you might give it a go. Here's another thing. These NARS liquid blushes. When they say liquid blush, like that is so exactly what these are. They are not like a thick cream or a mousse. They are straight up liquid. It's going to pump out and it's going to like actually run down your hand if you turn your hand. It's very, very thin. And I'd heard like nothing but great things about these. I've got them in all the shades. NARS sent these to me and I've been playing with them on and off, and I just felt like it was kind of bothersome. Like the product was pretty, but the application was not like flawless for me. And I was of course at first relying on my e.l.f. small stipple brush, which I love for all kinds of cream things, and it just gives a really light application. It doesn't apply too much pressure on the skin, but I don't think this is the perfect brush for this product. So sorry, e.l.f. small stipple brush, I still love you, but it's just not right for this, exactly, for me anyway. I think for as liquidy and thin, yet super pigmented as this product tends to be, and I'm holding it here in the shade Dolce Vita, so this is like a rich rosy color. This kind of streaks it out just a little bit. Like there are so many little ends to this brush, and while it does give nice lightweight application, it was a little too streaky for me. So I would say find a synthetic brush that's like just a normal blush brush, like this one from Wet n Wild. Super affordable. I pumped some of the product out onto my hand, spread it out a little bit so you're not like globbing up a ton on your brush at once. Just lightly dip your brush in and then blend it in like normal blush on your cheek. And it's gorgeous. And this is such a dense and soft brush. It's like it's going to be even application on your cheeks. The look I come away with I think is so fresh and so pretty, and this is indeed a wonderful product in a gorgeous shade. It just needs the proper brush. Here's another brush situation I got into, this Too Faced Peach Blur. This product, like, I do feel like I understand it. I mean, it is a finishing powder. It's very light. When you touch it, like, you don't see so much product on your skin, but you do feel it. Like it feels very smoothing and just a light amount of color. And when I did my peach video, I just felt like this wasn't doing enough. I didn't feel like I was seeing enough effect out of it. And what I think this needs is a more dense brush for me. A dense brush and like a sweeping motion across the skin. And then I do see this sort of perfected, smoothed look to the skin. I'm still not saying this particular product is like an absolute essential for everybody, because I'm thinking about stuff like Milani Prep Set and Glow, which is sort of along the lines of this, but I think maybe does an even more effective job. But if you've got this and you're just considering like, how can I best make this work? I have this brush from Real Techniques, and I believe this is the blush brush. It says 300 on it, and it's from their Bold Metals line, and I always felt like it was a little dense for blush. But I really pick up some product, like I make an effort to really get some on there, and then just sweep it across the skin. And I swear I do see it's kind of a blurring effect, a little bit of a soft matte, I would say. It's like a mix of matte and the most soft pearly glow, I guess might be the best way to put it. If you're thinking about a product like this, just get this one. It's more affordable and it works no matter what. But just some observations there. That's kind of what this video is about, just sharing a few findings. I have had some new IT Cosmetics products on my hands for some time now, and one of them is this Brow Power powder. If you're familiar with their Brow Power pencil, it's kind of like a universal brow pencil. They make it in the shade called Transforming Taupe. And so now they've basically taken that shade and they've put it into a powder. And I think brow powders, by the way, are very, very beginner friendly. I think if you are just starting out with trying to familiarize yourself with how to even out and kind of perfect your brows, I think a powder is one of the safest ways to start out, because you're going to get the softest look. You can experiment with different shades and different brushes, but you're going to get a much softer effect than you are with pencil. Because wouldn't y'all agree, like when you're grabbing a pencil out, it takes a little time to understand how to really lightly and effectively use a brow pencil. The instinct at first might be to press a little harder and use it heavier than you need. So powders can be great. And this one, this Transforming Taupe, this shade can work in brows as dark as mine. It really can. But I felt like when I just used this powder, I was not getting an even enough look and it wasn't lasting very well. Not to mention the fact that my brows are pretty full and they can kind of go in all directions and I need something with a little more hold. So I grabbed this little wax pencil, and multiple brands put these out. I've got mine from Wet n Wild. I think Milani makes one. I know Anastasia makes one, but what it is just a literal pencil of wax. Like if you've seen brow palettes that have a little pot of wax, this is just that in pencil form. So before you ever pick up that brow powder, just put this through your brows, just go all over wherever there's hair, and then go into your powder and you'll find that it clings better. You've got actual hold happening in your brows. It lasts throughout the day. Like there's so many benefits to combining this powder with a wax stick. Another product that I really dove into after using that Bite Champagne Discovery Kit. If you haven't seen my Bite reviews, by the way, on the holiday kits, I reviewed 3 Bite holiday kits in one. Every holiday season, I try to review the Bite stuff ASAP because I'm very concerned about it selling out and I want you guys to know about it. So one of those kits included one of their cream lip glosses, and it was a beautiful champagne color, had a lot of pop on the lips, and you might remember me saying I have the Oyster Pearl shade and I didn't feel like I could make this one work. Well, I think I was trying it on top of shades that were too light, like light berry or light mauve, rosy kinds of shades that just weren't meshing with this. It wasn't showing off the brilliance of this shade. What it takes to make this shade show up, I think, and look its most beautiful, is a really dark lip color. So now that we're getting into the season of darkness on lip colors, I'm starting to figure out the situation where this can be beautiful. So for example, today I'm wearing Glastonbury from the Charlotte Tilbury line. This was a Shop My Stash item too. So I've got this shade on all over my lips. This is a matte lip color. And then you see this Bite shade. It's so hard to describe. I mean, I glance at it, it looks mauve, it looks taupe, it's got a little bit of a bluish reflectivity to the sparkle in there, a little bit of silver even, but you dab that in the center of your lip and it is so gorgeous with this dark color. Like it adds so much brilliance. I already loved this lipstick, but I feel like I like it 10 times more with this gloss on top. Like that's so pretty. And you could certainly like go all over your entire lip. You guys know I love the impact of just center of the lower lip with a gloss of that kind. So yeah, that's my video, guys. Just some products that may have been kind of either average or in the I don't think I like it category, but you work with it a little more, you do some tweaks in the application, you can actually turn them into really workable products. And my friend David and I had kind of discussed this idea on and off about dud to stud, like this was a series I wanted to do. And I was thinking about calling this that. But I think now as you've seen me go through these products, they weren't necessarily dud products to begin with. They weren't totally over on that end of the spectrum where they weren't workable. I mean, like for example, this NARS blush, this is a beautiful product. I just personally hadn't yet touched on exactly the right way to put it on. And so now that I have, I'm sharing that. I don't know, maybe misunderstood to stud is what I could call this video, but I hope this helps some of you guys and it might just inspire you to think about some of the products you have in a little different way. But thank you for your time and I will see you very soon. Bye. Oh, many more holiday reviews are on the way. This Lorac Pro 4, I am absolutely going to be reviewing that. I've had to wear it. I've had so many questions about that palette, but you can't have a palette that large and not take days to try it over and over again with different looks because there's so much in there. So I did a little quick look with it again today. I'm just kind of trying to get a feel for everything and my review will be out on that very, very soon, I assure you. So thanks again, guys. I'll see ya.